Yo, it's your boy. We spoke about their Madden video. Today's video, we're going to be rebuilding the Green Bay Packers after they have selected Matthew Golden with the first round pick. First time in over 20 years the Green Bay Packers have selected a wide receiver in the first round. They didn't do it during Aaron Rodgers' legacy at all, but they're going to do it with Jordan Love's legacy. A little bit of a slap in the face, but anyway, let's go and get into the rebuild. So, first things first, we're going to be trading Christian Watson. I feel like Christian Watson is honestly the worst receiver in that receiving core. I like Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed better. So, we're getting rid of Christian Watson, second round pick, and a third round pick. And we're going to get Greg Newsome the second, a really underrated cornerback. And we're going to get Wyatt Teller. We're going to get a solid right guard, 79 overall. We're also going to be signing Von Bell. We don't really need safety a whole lot, but we needed a backup safety because our backup safety was like a 63, so that's mainly why we got him. But anyway, we're going to be signing Von Bell. And then we're also going to get J.K. Dobbins as a backup running back. Obviously, Josh Jacobs is our number one running back by far. He's one of the best in the league. But just for injuries or when Josh Jacobs needs a break, we're going to get J.K. Dobbins in there. And we're actually going to be doing a pretty decent trade. Actually, I would say more than decent, pretty big trade. We're going to get Devin Lloyd, a solid left outside linebacker, and Trayvon Walker, a decent left end. I wouldn't say he's solid, but he's decent. He's serviceable. And we're going to be giving up a 2026 first round, a 2027 second, 2026 second, and a 2027 third, and a 2026 third. Now, that is a lot of picks, but keep in mind, we are going to be contending for playoffs or a Super Bowl. So in the 2024 season, after doing all those moves that we already did just to start us off, we are an 88 overall, and we finished the season going 12-5. We're going to be facing the New York Giants of all teams, the New York Giants in the first round of playoffs. In the first year of the rebuild, Jordan Love's going to get 4,406 passing yards, 50 passing touchdowns. That's actually pretty impressive, getting 50 passing touchdowns, and only 12 interceptions, which 12 is maybe a little bit, but if you're throwing 50 touchdowns, 12 is nothing to really worry about. Josh Jacobs, one of the best running backs in the league, and he's going to get 1,169 rushing yards with 8 rushing touchdowns, 0 fumbles. Jordan Love is going to run the ball for 284 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. And J.K. Dobbins was able to get 209 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. Honestly, should have gained more attempts as he almost averaged 5 yards per attempt. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Our leading receiver is somehow going to be Dontavian Wicks. Not that Dontavian Wicks is bad. I was just expecting it to be somebody else. But he had 19 receiving touchdowns and 1,195 receiving yards. Jaden Reed is going to have 1,130 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. Romeo Doubs is going to have 1,061 receiving yards with 13 receiving touchdowns. Then Tucker Kraft is going to have 51 receptions for 489 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. Matthew Golden is kind of going to have a disappointing rookie season, only 14 receptions with 226 receiving yards and only 3 receiving touchdowns. Now let's check on the defensive side of the ball for us. So Devin Lloyd is going to lead in tackles with 118. Tackles for loss is going to be Trayvon Walker, the 2 Jacksonville Jaguars we traded for. Leading in the team, Devon Wyatt is going to have 8.5 sacks. Kenny Clark is going to have 6.5. Jair Alexander is going to have 4 interceptions. Nate Hobbs is going to have 3. Edrin Cooper is going to have 3. Keyshawn Nixon had 2 interceptions. We're going to be first-round exits in the first year of this rebuild, the 2024 season. We were not able to beat the New York Giants. So the New York Giants hand us the L in the playoffs, as the final score is going to be 38-24. They're going to have Russell Wilson starting over Jackson Dart. Not too surprised that they're giving the starting job to Russell Wilson. So he's going to have 326 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception in this playoff game, while Jordan Love is going to have 213 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 1 interception. Rushing, Tyrone Tracy is going to have 51 rushing yards, 0 rushing touchdowns. Josh Jacobs is only going to have 34 yards off 11 attempts. Malik Neighbors is going to be pretty impressive with 10 receptions, 125 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Jaden Reed is going to have 5 receptions with 71 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Pretty good game for Jaden Reed. Darius Slayton's going to have 2 receiving touchdowns. Tucker Kraft is going to have a receiving touchdown off of 50 yards and 5 receptions. Devin Lloyd's going to lead the game in tackles, and then Devon Wyatt's going to get the tackles for loss. And there's only going to be one full sack, and that's going to be from Devon Lloyd. Kayshon Thibodeau got half a sack, though, and then Micah McFadden and Javon Bullard got interceptions. So we would normally show everybody we lose in free agency, but we didn't lose anyone too important, so we're not going to show that, because there's no point of showing you just 60 overalls that we're losing. But we are going to sign a punter, a kicker. Jake Bates, a pretty impressive kicker from the Lions last year, and we're going to get Tommy Trumbull. I believe he was a backup at Carolina for a little bit. So yeah, we're going to get them some solid role players, but mainly just the punter and kicker are the only one who's going to be starting. But now let's look at the draft class of who we got. So it's auto-generated, of course, but we got a free safety, 75 overall. Then we got a receiver who's a 68. Honestly, not a very impressive draft class, but we did get rid of a lot of picks. It's auto-generated because we can't predict 2 years down the future. But in the next year, the Green Bay Packers, we are 91 overall across the board. So we went from being an 88 across the board to being a 91 across the board, and we did make playoffs. We're going to be facing the San Francisco 49ers in the second year of the playoffs. So Jordan Love is going to have 4,096 passing yards, 40 passing touchdowns with 11 interceptions, a 72 completion percentage. Pretty solid year. He was sacked 38 times. 72 completion percentage, that is really good. 40 passing touchdowns is good as well. Let's go and check that rushing. Josh Jacobs is going to have 248 attempts with 1,361 yards. Very good year for Josh Jacobs, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, which is insane. That is an insane rate to have. And 10 rushing touchdowns with 0 fumbles. J.K. Dobbins is going to have 247 yards with 5 rushing touchdowns. Dontavian Wicks, again, is going to be leading with receiving yards with 1,102, 65 receptions, 16 receiving touchdowns. Jaden Reed is going to have 83 receptions for 1,078 yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. Romeo Doubs is going to have 88 actually, with 904 and 5 receiving touchdowns. Matthew Golden not having a good start to his career with only 11 receptions, 167 yards, and 1 touchdown. Adrian Cooper is going to lead in tackles with 121. Tackles for loss is going to be Kenny Clark with 14, Rashawn Gary with 11. Devon Wyatt's going to have 14 sacks. That's honestly pretty impressive for someone like Devon Wyatt. Not that Devon Wyatt's bad, he's just not a huge name. Devon Lloyd, though, and Adrian Cooper are going to have 5 interceptions for us. And it's the 2025 season, and we're going to be making a Super Bowl appearance already. So we beat the San Francisco 49ers 34-28 in the first round. Then we go ahead and we face the Washington Commanders in the second round, and we're going to beat them 17-10. And then we go ahead and we face, in the NFC Championship, we're going to be facing the Detroit Lions. We beat them. The Green Bay Packers beat the Detroit Lions 49-10. Pretty impressive score right there. So we're in the Super Bowl. We're going to be facing the Cincinnati Bengals, the 5th seed versus the 4th seed. Kind of an interesting matchup of, being honest, the 5th versus the 4th seed. You don't see that every time around in the playoffs. So let's go ahead and see who the winner is. Obviously, we're going to go into this game. We are not going to play it, though, because this is a rebuild. It's not a gameplay franchise. I don't want you guys seeing my trash gameplay anyway. But, yeah, we are simming this, seeing if Joe Burrow's still on the roster. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, people like that. Again, you got to keep in mind, this is only 1 year down the road, so unless something absolutely like bizarre happens, but it should be the same rosters as in real life. Pretty much. I mean, there's only 1 year difference. So anyway, let's go and start this off. We're going to super sim this. We don't even kick it off. We're going to be facing the Cincinnati Bengals in the 2025 Super Bowl. Let's see if we get this done. This might be the fastest rebuild ever. It is 21-10 already, 21-18 in close game. Now we have a 10-point lead with only a minute left. We should be able to hold on. And the Green Bay Packers are going to be your 2025 Super Bowl champions. They're going to defeat Joe Burrow again. Not that the Packers have defeated Joe Burrow, but obviously Joe Burrow has lost. But yeah, there's Xavier McKinney. Jordan Love is jumping up and down. Josh Jacobs is a Super Bowl champion. So many good players on the Packers that do deserve a championship. And they are close, but They just need a little bit of help getting over the hump, and the Green Bay Packers are going to be your Super Bowl champion. Not going to lie, I am probably going to do another year of this rebuild since that went by so quick. We'll just do another year to see how that goes. I think I see Zach Tom right there, one of the best right tackles in the league. Jordan Love, he's pretty solid. A lot of people, I hear a lot of criticism about him being inconsistent. I will say he is very inconsistent, but he's still a good quarterback at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and check out the player stats in these Super Bowls. So Jordan Love is going to have a 92 completion percentage in this game with 3 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. A very good game for Jordan Love. Joe Burrow is going to have 80% completion with 0 passing touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Josh Jacobs is going to have 13 attempts for 53 yards. Garrison Hancock is apparently an underrated guy. That's going to be on the Bengals, though. Jaden Reed is going to lead the game with 9 receptions, 113 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Romeo Doubs with 7 receptions, 82 yards. And Tucker Kraft is going to get a touchdown. Let's see if Matthew Golden did anything in the big game. No, he got 1 reception for 18 yards. That was all he's able to do. So even though Matthew Golden is kind of looking like a bust, at least in this auto draft class that we got imported into the rosters, even though he's looking like a bust, the Green Bay Packers are doing very well. And I know the Green Bay Packers are a championship contending team, obviously. I just want to rebuild almost every team as much as I can do. These are the people we're going to be losing. We're going to be losing Rashad Walker, Luke Van Noyes. So we're losing a couple actually solid names. Rashad Walker is really going to be rough loss. I mean, that's a solid left tackle. This is going to be our replacement of free agency. We were able to get Cam Robinson, a 76 overall, 30-year-old left tackle. Not as good as Rashawn Walker, obviously, and older than Rashawn Walker, but we are going to try our best to get over that loss. Anyway, we finished 14-3, so very good record from the Green Bay Packers right here. We're going to be facing the Seattle Seahawks in the first round of the playoffs. Jordan Love with 4,169 passing yards, 41 passing touchdowns with 16 interceptions. 16 interceptions, that is a little bit high, but I wouldn't say it's that bad of a year for Jordan Love. I mean, 41 passing touchdowns is pretty phenomenal. Josh Jacobs is still doing really good, even though he is starting to get a little bit older, but he's not too old quite yet, with 1,282 yards, 13 rushing touchdowns, and 1 fumble. Jordan Love was able to get 245 yards on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins still on the team and doing all right with 6 rushing touchdowns. Dontavian Wicks again is going to be leading the way with 74 receptions, 1,144 yards, 16 receiving touchdowns. Romeo Doubs with 1,075 yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. Jaden Reed is going to catch 14 touchdowns with 955 yards. Matthew Golden is not even over 200 yards in a season yet, so not much coming from him. Edgerrin Cooper is going to lead the tackles, 148. Kenny Clark, 17. Trayvon Walker, 17 tackles for loss. Trayvon Walker with 10 tackles for loss. Rashawn Gary is going to lead with 8 sacks. Xavier McKinney is going to have 6 interceptions. Jair Alexander is going to have 4. We are going to another Super Bowl. We're going back-to-back Super Bowls. So in the 2026 season, we're going to be facing the Los Angeles Chargers. And let's go ahead and get this sim. And I would go in deeper detail, but I mean, we are 2 years down the road, and we have potential to win a back-to-back Super Bowl. Now, this will be the first time this ever happens, because normally we're so deep in the simulation that if I win one Super Bowl, I just end the video, because the videos are normally 30 minutes long. But since we already have a Super Bowl so early, I did another year, but let's go and see if we can get back-to-back Super Bowls. Like I said, never happened before on the channel. It is 17-23, though. Oh, it's close. The 24-23. We're going to kick a last second. I think we kicked the last second. Yes, we did. We kicked a last second field goal to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. So we're facing Justin Herbert, J.K. Dobbins, technically facing his former team, even though he's only a backup. Still, the revenge has got to feel sweet. There's Josh Jacobs again. Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love, Jaden Reed, all becoming, Devin Lloyd also. Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney, all coming back-to-back Super Bowl champions. So Justin Herbert is going to have 0 passing touchdowns in the big game with 1 interception. Some of the reason we won this is from Justin Herbert not performing well. Jordan Love with 2 passing touchdowns in the game with 0 interceptions. Najee Harris, 62 yards in the game with 2 rushing touchdowns. Omarion Hampton's going to get a touchdown as well, and so is Josh Jacobs. Quinn Johnson's actually going to be the leading receiver with 101 yards and 6 receptions. Dontavian Wicks is going to have 6 receptions as well. Josh Jacobs, 2 receptions, 17 yards. Mike Fitzgerald, an auto-generated guy for the Los Angeles Chargers, get a lead with tackles. Sacks, there's going to be no sacks in the game. Jamie Davis, an auto-generated guy on our team, is going to get the only interception in the Super Bowl. So that was rebuilding the Green Bay Packers. Very fast, very efficient rebuild, but let's go and check out the yearly awards. So the Super Bowl MVP in the 2026 Super Bowl is going to go to Dontavian Wicks. Dontavian Wicks, I don't know what is up with him, but he's an absolute simulation machine, apparently. 2025 season, when we beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and handing Joe Burrow his second Super Bowl loss. Jordan Love is going to be the Super Bowl MVP as we win 28-21. That regular season NFL MVP was Patrick Mahomes. And then the year before that, so this is the only year in the simulation we didn't make the Super Bowl, was in the 2024 season, and they had the Kansas City Chiefs facing the Philadelphia Eagles, as we have seen that matchup quite a bit recently. But the Super Bowl MVP in that one was Patrick Mahomes, and the regular season NFL MVP is going to go to Josh Allen. So anyway, that is around the end of the video. If you guys enjoy Madden 25 rebuilds, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to those post notifications on. If you guys are excited for Madden 26 and you guys enjoy NFL content in general, like power rankings and position group rankings, make sure to check out our recent videos and subscribe, turn those post notifications on so you get notified every single time we post. See you guys in the next video. Bye.